Hey, hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope everybody's doing really well. Sitting, chilling, having a good time. Hopefully you're having a good time. I'm having a good time. We're back. We are BACK back. Good to see everybody here today. Hopefully we'll have a few more people joining us here within the first, within a few minutes. But, again, going over the actual material here starting today, so we should be up, ready to good to go. Soon, I say. Soon. Alright. Let's, what do I do here? Right, gotta change that. Let's change it. I think I already made this goal. This, and let's go. Alright, there we go. We will affect that. There we are. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing great. Let's see if we can remember. This. Alrighty. Should be good to go in just a few minutes. I believe so, anyway. Let's see. Go ahead and set a few more things up here. Hey, how you doing, Pistache? I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How you feeling? How you feeling today? Hopefully things have been good. Hopefully you're ready for the weekend, as we're almost there. We're almost there for the weekend, so. Always. You got any plans for the weekend, my friend? Or is it just gonna be sitting and chilling at home? Maybe doing a little bit of homework. Maybe just a smidge. Maybe he says. Maybe he says. Maybe. It's a homework weekend. It's getting done. All right. We made the commitment. Made the commitment is gonna get done, darn it. Gonna get done. Hey, like Michael Bublé said, and I'm feeling good. There you go, there you go. Hey, Lumen, do we have to turn in the handout worksheet? No. Those are your notes, those are for you. No, I don't do hand-ins for handouts. Those are just for you, so you can learn off of them and get to know how to use them and all that stuff. So, yeah, no worries. I'm not putting in extra work. It's exactly as it stated in the syllabus, Luma. I promise you that. Homework, tests, final. Simple, simple, simple. If I made it more complicated, it would be. I'm pretty sure we would be all crying tears. I take song notes. I see that you are, Dylan, taking some song notes. Hello, Hisa. Good afternoon. How you doing today? How we doing today, Hisa? We straight up chilling? I hope we are. Hope we're in good. Hopefully everybody's in good spirits here today. It's always like the second day, you know, getting pumped, getting excited. I just ate a little bit of lunch, some KFC. Just felt like KFC, so I'm like, I'm going to KFC. There you go. That's how it works. Get me some KFC and I'm good to go. Got me my energy. We were sitting, having a good time. We're ready to go with some new material here, ladies and gentlemen. Not chilling, trying to get work done. Okay, well, that's what I want. Je voudrais poulet. I'm pretty sure poulet means chicken. Just like the Spanish word for chicken is pollo. Yeah, okay. I had a feeling poulet means like chicken. The pollo is chicken in Spanish, so poulet would mean the same thing. Since they're both Latin-based languages. So, you see, I know a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. And pollo is Kirby. Slightly different, but hey. There's no homework due this week on my math lab. There's nothing on mine. Just click on the homework tab on the left. It won't show up actually on your schedule thing, Luma. Click on the homework tab on your left and you will see a list of all the homework assignments. I set the due date as the last day because I've put all the assignments posted up, but I will be changing the due dates for the chapters once we get closer to the end of covering that material. Okay? See, you guys think I don't know. I'd be like, no. I'm aware about some things. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I know a little bit. I've got eagle eyes. You got eagle eyes and having no hair. That are going to have no hair. You're gonna join my club, Dylan. It's going to be glorious. That's how it works, Dylan. That's how it works in my world. I drag you down to my level. You rock up without hair and then it grows back, my man. I don't think you're gonna have a problem, to be honest. Alright, we gotta get started here. Let's do some intros. Let's get moving here. Alright, let's do this. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Thursday, end of the week time today. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get with the actual material here. We're going to go over the first, few sections here of Chapter 1. All right, now Chapter 1 here is all about definitions here regarding for regarding statistics. So a lot of everything we'll talk about here today will be less about numeric numbers. It'll be all about kind of definition. But a lot of the definitions we're talking about here today, again, will be applicable for things that we're going to be seeing here later on. I want to wear a hat and action. And action, indeed. I have hats, okay? I do have hats, all right? I can get one of my hats, but there you go. Do you want me to get one of my hats, Dylan, before you go? I'll get one of my hats. Hang on, folks. Now you guys can. I don't know if you guys can see me just fine, but I guess this will work to some degree. Maybe I'll put the little flappy flap up. Yes, indeed, it is the hat, the bucket hat, indeed. Let me arrange it here. I see how this looks. Actually, look. I gotta do the other side. That is much. Loves the bucket hats from here, very good. But it kind of weird. There we are. Perfect. Everybody, now everybody's got it. Hey. Probably can't hear a darn thing out of these things. Whatever. That's not the important part here. Alright. Alright, so this is there's my hat there. I think you guys can still hear me though. So, alright, no problem. Anyway, alright, so today we're gonna be covering up the covering the material here for the first 3 sections here of chapter 1. Now, before I go ahead and get started here, alright, audio still good? Good. Just that I can't hearing things through the sides of my bucket hat is a little difficult. But that's okay. All right, in any case, I want to put up a poll here first because I forgot to ask you last stream. So I just want to be able to, for you guys to, again, I always think democratically here, and that is talking in regards to the music in the background. If you want music in the background, I will keep it at a minimum, but just really quick here, a really quick poll, quick snap 1-minute poll. If you want music in the background, click yes. If you want no music in the background, just click no. All right, so the poll's up top there. Again, it's you know, some people just like kind of vibing a little bit. So some people, it is what it is. So I'm not. But again, I can always come to a compromise in terms of volume control. That's not a problem. So, but we just want to see what the class's feelings are about that. So that way, I do the appropriate thing, and then you know, we move. So that is not a problem. All right, so about 15 seconds. Go ahead and people put in your last minute votes there for yes or no. Music's fine, okay. I'll control the volume though. As if it's too high, then I'll certainly lower it down so it's not like intrusive. So. Alright, so we have 12 people who said yes, 4 people say no. So for the people who said no, that's fine. I will acquiesce to people here. I'm just going to lower the volume here just a smidge. That way it's kind of it's lower, so it's not like totally intrusive. And there you go. I think it's on to the next song there. Alright, probably did. Alright, I can't really hear the music. It doesn't matter. Alright. Well, I look, I listen to you guys first and foremost. You guys, your guys' opinions are the most important thing. It comes to like, hey, just setting a good tone for the class and stuff. So I just want to be sure that you guys are certainly taken care of when it comes to things like that. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think it's on. There's. I hear something now. Yeah, there you go. It was just switching to the next song over. Okay. Anyway, all right. So today, let's go to the big board here. I'm gonna take off this hat. I need. Ugh. I need these over my ears, otherwise I can't hear squadoo. All right. There we go. That's going to look so janky, but it is what it is. All right, that looks pretty terrible. I ain't gonna. So, let's talk about chapter 1. Let's go over the actual material here, and we're gonna go to the big board, and we're gonna see what we're looking at here. All right. Go to the big board. All right, here we are at the big board. Okay, why don't I just do it this way? I like. All right, anyway. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is our first 3 sections here. We're going to talk about some of the basics behind statistics, some of the basic definitions here. We're going to go over examples, and we're going to see exactly what we're working with, okay? So this is from the first handout on D2L. So if you've already downloaded this or printed it out or whatever, then these are the questions that we're going to be following, each one at a time. We'll see how far we get here today, and we'll be working with that stuff. All right, if you have any questions in and along the way, please feel free to ask, and I will be more than happy to answer them. If you feel like I'm going too fast, just let me know, and I'll stop and slow down for you, all right? Okay, so let's take a look at question number 1 here. Question number 1 says, what are some basic terms that can be used when talking about sampling? So a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about is in reference to this thing called sampling. When basically at the end of the day, we're going to be conducting statistical studies, okay? So, for whatever purposes they may be, it doesn't really matter, but we want to be taking into account these statistical studies and being able to draw conclusions off of them. So let's take a good look here at 3 things that we're going to see very often. The first thing that we'll talk about here is population, all right? So what exactly is population? So population here is basically going to be the entire group that will be studied. So put it into context here, a very simple context, and that is that let's say I want to take a survey of whatever. Let's say, do you like brand A or do you like brand B of some kind of product? And I want to ask the whole school. All right, so I would say everybody at ECC. I want to ask everybody at ECC. So I could say everybody at ECC is the entire population. All right, population is exactly as it sounds like. Okay, kind of like the big whole amalgamation of people or objects. All right, that's going to be population. Now, if you take a small subsection of that, all right, that is going to represent a sample. So as you see there in the next one here, a sample here is a subset of the population, i.e., again, think of our class, okay? Our class is a subset of all the students at ECC. We are a class, so we would be a sample. I would ask you, hey, do you like brand A or do you like brand B as a part of my survey? You would answer the question, yes, I like, you would say, one person would say, hey, I like brand A. And one other person would say, hey, I like brand B, whatever you want. Okay, but typically what we're trying to do here in this class is we're trying to take statistical studies from a sample and we want to be able to take those conclusions that we get from the sample and extrapolate that to a population. So for example here, if I wanted to find out how people think about certain topics here in the US, I can't ask all 350 plus million people. That's impossible to do. But what I would do is I would ask a cross-section of the population, all right, a sample size per se, okay, again, a group of individuals, and I could be able to take those results and hopefully be able to extrapolate that to the rest of the population in some form or fashion. That's a lot of the things that we're going to be doing here. So that's kind of like the primary goal that we want to be looking at is drawing conclusions from a sample in various different aspects and various different concepts we'll see throughout the course of the semester. We also talk about here, the very third thing that we'll talk about here are individuals. Individuals are exactly as it sounds. It's as straightforward as it was before. Again, a person or object that is being studied within a population. All right, so again, you as an individual, I ask you, do you like brand A or brand B? And then you say, I like, whatever brand you like. And then you would be an individual as part of my study, as part of the sample. Okay, so really self-explanatory there. It's pretty intuitive. Okay, so that's talking about sampling. We'll be coming back to these terms here over and over and over again. They're used in pretty much every concept that we're learning here in statistics, so this isn't going to be anything brand new, and they're very intuitive to get to know. All right, now let's take a good look here at the next two questions, excuse me. All right, so let's take a look at question number 2. Question number 2 says, what is a statistic? Okay, so a statistic here is a numerical summary of a sample. So for example here, a statistic would be specifically say, let's say you read in a news article, 38% of people like brand A. Okay, that is a statistic, okay, because maybe they asked, say, 500 people that question, and 38% of those people said, I like brand A. All right, fine. That's 38%. All right, no problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. However, on the flip side, what is a parameter? A parameter would be a numerical summary of a population. So instead of saying 38% of 500 people said they like brand A, maybe we applied that to the entire population. Let's say in reality, instead of 38%, maybe it's like 45% or something like that. You say, oh, well, that'd be a parameter because 45% actually liked brand A in the entirety of the population. So, which is entirely plausible. Okay, so are there any questions about that so far? Any questions? If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, if you don't have any questions, type no in the chat. All right. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, okay. Good, 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 good. So far, so bueno. Alrighty. Now, having said this, all right, I'll move forward. Ooh, wow. Good on you guys. You guys are it. You guys are all here. That's really good to see. All right. Let's go over to number 4. Let's talk about the next important thing here when it comes to statistics that we're going to see quite often here. Number 4, what are variables and data? All right, let's talk about what variables are here first and foremost. First of all, variables. Variables are characteristics of individuals within a population. All right, so we could say a variable could be, say, for example, gender between male and female. Okay, we could say age groups. Okay, so between the ages, so like if you're a marketer, you're looking at demographics, you're like between the ages of 18 and 34, maybe 35 to 49. Okay, something akin to that. That would be, again, a variable you can set aside. Again, that would describe a particular set of characteristics, would be age groups. All right, and data here would be the numerical values put into those variables. So if we're doing an example with like, again, going back to the age groups here, we surveyed 70 people between 18 and 34. We surveyed 155 people between 35 to 49, whatever the case may be. All right, so that would be number 4 there. No problemo. All right. Now, we're going to look at different types of variables here. All right, so we're going to look at different types of variables here. And let's talk about those different types of variables. I'm going to move this over here for just a moment. I want to actually take these away. I thought I erased these. Sag. Right. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's talk about qualitative and quantitative variables. All right, these are the first two types of variables that we want to talk about here. Let's discuss about the differences between each of them. The first one here is a qualitative variable. A qualitative variable allows for a classification of individuals based on some attribute or characteristic. Okay, so again, you're describing what that individual is. Okay, again, gender or the like. Okay, there's many things that could be considered qualitative, but it's more of a descriptive sort of variable. Okay, as opposed to a quantitative variable, Quantitative. That would be a numerical measure of an individual, so an actual numerical value of that individual. Okay, so an actual number would be kind of, if you kind of want to call it that here, to describe that particular variable and that individual. Okay, so let's go over some examples that I have listed here. And what I would like you to do is to go ahead and tell me if it is a qualitative or quantitative variable. So let's go over the very first one that we see here. What about nation of origin? Would nation of origin be a qualitative variable or a quantitative variable? What do you guys think? Would that be a qualitative variable or a quantitative variable? Nation of origin describe, or would it be numerical? Some people say qualitative versus say quantitative. A couple quantitatives. So again, nation of origin meaning like where your ancestors are from, right? So like say a country like, like for example, I would say my parents are from Pakistan, for example. So all right. So let's put down, okay, so I got a lot of good mix of answers here, but let's put down our answer for this. So our answer here for this is going to be qualitative, okay? Qualitative is correct, okay? Those of you got put down qualitative, you are correct, okay? So again, nation of origin is a description about where your ancestors are from or what country your ancestors are from. Again, is a specific place, okay? Specific place or country, all right? About, your ancestor homelands or whatever. And then, of course, way back in the day. But that is a description of, say, where your family tree and where you came from. All right. Let's go to the second one we see here. All right, very good, very good. Most of you got that right, so qualitative. What about zip code? Would zip code... So I'm going to put a poll for this one here. I'll put a poll for this one, because this one here is actually a thing. So let's do this. Zip code, I'll put QUAL for qualitative and QUAN for quantitative. I'll do a 2-minute poll here. You guys can take a little time to decide. What do you guys think? Qualitative or quantitative? Qualitative or quantitative? A pretty healthy mix here. Close the poll this time. It's supposed to close on its own. Did it not close before? I thought the poll closes on its own. I just kind of leave it. oh, oh. Yeah, I'm a doofus. Yeah, it is a close poll this time. That's true. All right, let's see if you guys make up your mind here. We have We have roughly a little bit, about 30 to 45 seconds left. We got a few people chiming in. Again, you can go ahead and just vote up top. If you don't see the poll, that's fine. Sometimes the poll doesn't show up for some people. I don't know why it does that, but I think it's the API that kind of breaks sometimes. All right, we got less than 15 seconds to go. Get your last minute votes in. Qualitative or quantitative? All right, time's almost up here. And okay. All right, so we have 13 people who voted for qualitative and 6 people here who voted for quantitative. Let's take a look and see what the answer is going to be here. Zip code here specifically is going to be qualitative. Qualitative is correct. Now let me go ahead and describe why it is qualitative and not quantitative. Now, of course, as you probably look at, you say, okay, well, a zip code's a number, so it should be quantitative. However, that's not what zip code actually represents. Although it's a number, that number is a designation for a city. It describes a specific city, or again, a part of a city. If you're like in downtown Chicago, it could represent a specific neighborhood within Chicago. So again, it's actually even though it's a number, don't think that every number is necessarily going to be quantitative. Okay, a number, it has, again, a zip code here is a specified number that describes a particular city. So again, you know, like the zip code for Schaumburg, or the zip code for Elgin, or the zip code for your hometown. Okay, each one of them is a descriptor for a city, so it's easier to, of course, get mail around or whatever the case may be. All right, so that is why it is a qualitative and not quantitative. All right, so what I want you to look at here from this particular example is I want you to kind of start shifting perspective and understanding that, yeah, we're looking at it not just from like, oh, it's just that and it's just that. Like, no, what does that zip code represent? Would it fall underneath the qualitative category? The answer is yes, it describes a city. Specific one, that is. Okay. If you didn't get that, that's okay. That's not a big deal. I want to be able to explain to you and about why it actually is that specific variable. All right. Let's take a good look here at the next one. Let's look at hours slept in a week. Hours slept in a week. Would that be qualitative or quantitative? Hours slept in a week. Go ahead and type that out in the chat. Okay. All right. So, all right, everybody doing absolutely fantastic. This is absolutely correct. Quantitative is correct, okay? So the number of hours you sleep in a week, again, definitely will be quantitative. It'd be a number. It literally is a actual numerical value associated with, let's say you're doing a sleep study of some type. All right, so quantitative because it's a numerical value of a particular individual. So quantitative with an N. All right, last one here. Let's take a look at this one here. The number of mats or materials required to craft something in Final Fantasy XIV. All right, so the number of materials here required to craft something in Final Fantasy XIV. Would that be quantitative or qualitative? All right. Yeah. Ha ha. Yes. Very good. That is quantitative. That is absolutely spot on, everybody. Very good. Nice job. Hit that quantity. Yes, good job. That is correct. Okay, so I got my Weaver to level 79. Yeah. All right, so there you go. That's how it rolls. All right, good job on that. All right, very nicely done. All right. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Just need to take these away really quick. Still in. There we go. Questions? No? All right. Okay. Alrighty. So far, so bueno. Well, I like where this is going today. I have good feelings about today. Today, I think you guys have been picking up on this so far, so I'm pretty happy about that. Alright. Let's take a look here at another two types of variables, alright? So we're still talking about variables here. Again, another couple types of variables, so different than that of qualitative and quantitative slightly. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about discrete. What are discrete and continuous variables? Here we are on question number 6. Okay, so discrete variables here is a variable that can take on a finite or countable number of values. Now, what does that mean? That means that, hey, Najer, how we doing? Interstellar vibes. I think that's where the screensaver is from. Thank you very much, DN. Dine. Okay, so if we take a finite or countable number of values, what exactly does that mean? That means that we can only put like values like 0, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to be whole numbers, mind you. But there's only a select number of values, meaning it starts at some value, it can end at some value, and you can only have any values in between. So that means that we have a finite number or countable number of values that we can plug in to that particular variable. That would be a description of a discrete variable at the end of the day. What is a continuous variable? A continuous variable is just the opposite of that. It's a variable that takes on an infinite amount of values, okay? Or an uncountable amount of values, okay? So there's no way we can determine, there's no beginning, there's no end of what we can put into that variable in terms of a numerical value, okay? We can just put in any value that we want, and that would be said as a continuous variable. All right, let's take a good look here at these examples, and I want you guys to type out in the chat, is this going to be a discrete variable, or is this going to be a continuous variable? All right, so let's take a good look here at the first example, and let's see what we're working with. All right, first one. The final combined points in a basketball game, is that a discrete variable or is that a continuous variable? The final combined points in a basketball game. Okay. Good, good, good. Thank you very much for the follow, Haas. All right. Very good. That is correct. The answer is definitely a discrete variable. All right. So again, you start the game. It starts at 0-0, right? And again, no matter how many overtimes that basketball game takes, again, that game has to end with a winner and a loser. All right. So at the end of the game, you tally up the points together, you add the amount up, but again, it's going to be a finite amount of points, and it can only take a finite amount of values, regardless of how many overtimes it is. All right, so the game begins, the game ends, and indeed it's discrete. It takes a countable number of values. All right, not too bad. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, the next one here is a high temperature on a randomly selected day in Chicago. The high temperature on a randomly selected day in Chicago, is that discrete or is it continuous? Discrete or continuous? Right, so I got most people saying continuous. Got one discrete in there. That's fine. I'll have a few more guesses plugged in there. Think discrete or continuous, if you haven't guessed already. Put a response. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and. All right. All right. Good. Good. Let's go ahead and put in an answer here. All right. So the high temperature on a randomly selected day in Chicago is going to be continuous. All right. Now let's talk about why it's continuous as opposed to discrete. First of all, it's on a randomly selected day. All right, meaning it can literally be any day at any time. There's no range of temperatures that we're actually looking at here. We're looking on any randomly selected day, meaning it could take on literally any value. Plus, the high temperature for a selected day can, again, be any value. It could be like minus 100 degrees, or it can be 120 degrees, okay? Wouldn't we be under the understanding that it can't be that high? Like there's a limit to weather, if that makes sense. Is there? You're putting so when you say something like that, to be fair, Stash, you're putting a limit on what the values of the temperature could be. But in reality, there's actually no limit in terms of what the temperature could be. You could have minus 100 degrees, you could have plus 120, you could have plus 220. Again, you have planets out there in the solar system that are 1,000 degrees Celsius and minus 1,000 degrees Celsius. There is a limit on how many points can be scored in a basketball game because it ends, right? There's a start and a finish to a basketball game, right? It just starts and it finishes, right? Jake? That's why it's discrete. Because there's a finish, there has to be a limit on the amount of values that you're going to have. With a randomly selected day, you can pick any day of the year with any value. All right? Even though realistically there's like a 0 point, infinitely zero chance to get minus 100 degrees, all right? Then, that's definitely a thing. But what if it didn't? Then it would be continuous, to be fair. If the game never ended, sure. Then you're taking an infinite amount of values, if the game never ends. But you're assuming that it's the final combined points of the classical game. So that's why I put the word final. Because then it implies that the game does end. So it's like if you're an NBA game, the game's got to end. Okay? You keep playing until one team's ahead and one team loses. That's how it works. If you're not playing with the time limit, that's a total thing. Fractional values also count, sure. Not in a basketball game, of course. That's not relevant to that, of course, because it's just whole numbers for a basketball game. But having said, for temperatures, you could take on fractional values. You could have like minus 30.7457 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. If you want to put that value in, you can go ahead and put that value in. Okay. That would be the temperature for that day. All right. Now minus degrees are no bueno, but that's just how it is. Like, no lie though. Like the other day, I hopped into my car. I was driving. I had to drive to drive to go get food, and it was 107 in my car. I was like, man, my car traps too much heat. Like, I kind of miss my old car, which was lighter in color, reflected the heat a lot better. 107 in my car. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was boiling. What I wanted to do was make fried rice in my car. I'm like, yeah, I could do this. I could take like a giant wok and then start stirring the rice like this in my car. Sounds like a good plan. I don't even need. I don't need a. I don't need a burner or nothing. Just use my car. Sounds great. All right, so that describes why things are continuous there for that second one. Let's try the last one here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this last one here. Try the volume of water that leaks out of a bathroom faucet. Volume of water that leaks out of a bathroom faucet. Is it continuous or is it discrete? All right. Okay. Let's put in the answer here. All right, so the answer here for the volume water, it is continuous. That is correct, okay? One thing I will say about this, Fritz, is that I never said that I fixed the faucet. It could be leaking forever for all you know. On top of that, to add a little bit more conclusive evidence, you can actually figure out the volume of water, but you can assign any value to that volume of water. You can go down to, the hundredths place. You can go down to the millionths, okay? So you could be like, how much water did leak out of the faucet? Oh, 3.123456789 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 gallons. Okay, so you could be as precise as you want to be in terms of how much water actually leaked out of the faucet. So, a couple things why it is more continuous than it is actually discrete. All right, so. All right, very good, very good. All right, any questions about discrete and continuous before we move forward? Any questions? All right. I'll go ahead and move forward then. All right, we're going to look at two more types of variables then, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's take a look here at number 7. You can probably see that right at the bottom of the screen, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so let's look at number 7. What are ordinal and nominal variables? All right, let's take a look at the definitions for both. First of all, can I move the page up like this? There we go. Right here, Juan? Or a little bit more. Let me know. If we're talking like right here, thereabouts. I could leave it right here for right now. Just let me know if you want me to move it. That's all. Okay, so what are nominal? I'll start with nominal variables here. So what are nominal variables? Yo, Eatman, how's it going, my friend? So nominal variables are variables that do not have the possibility of values being arranged in a particularly ranked or specific order. Hey, who came to eat me? You come to read me now. See how it is. Thank you for the raid, my friend. You raided yourself. Thanks for the fake raid, bro. Alright, so a nominal variable here, a variable that does not have the possibility of the values being arranged in a particular ranked or specified order. Alright, so you cannot rank them or in a particular order. That's basically what a nominal variable is. What's an ordinal variable? An ordinal variable does allow for the possibility, again, just the opposite here, this does allow for the possibility of values being arranged in a particular ranked or specific order. Juan, I'll get up to question 5 here in just a second. Okay, let's do an example, and then I'll scroll up to question 5 while we're discussing a couple things there, Juan. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples here of a nominal or ordinal variable, and we'll talk about it. All right, let's take a look at the very first example here, IMDb movie ratings. Would an IMDb movie rating, would that be a nominal variable, or would that be an ordinal variable? Okay. Again, the easiest way to remember this, again, ORD stands for order, like the first 3 letters of order. Nominal does not. So, ordinal or nominal? IMDb movie ratings. I'll scroll up to number 5 for you, Juan. Make sure you just grab a picture of this one. I need to scroll back down. Ellis, my dude! Thank you very much for rating for yourself. Thanks for rating me, Ellis. Good to see you. Yeah, people say ordinal. Alright. Alright. No problem, Juan. Alright. So the answer to this is ordinal. Alright, that is true. So again, IMDb movie ratings, pretty simple, right? You could have 0-star movies, you could have 5-star movies, okay? You could have anything else in between, okay? Again, movies have there's a way you can certainly rank movies on IMDb, so you could say, oh, this movie was really bad, this movie was terrible. Hey, Ellis, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great night yourself, my friend. Feel free to stick around as long as you like. You're always welcome in my stream at any time, Ellis. Anytime. Well, thank you. I dig the bucket hat too. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit it over my headphones. It's a little awkward, but can't really argue about the fashion. So, Jamie, it isn't just any bucket hat. You gotta understand that, my friend. It's not just a bucket hat. It is the bucket hat. The only thing in fashion that you ever need in your life is a hashtag United bucket hat. Go buy one, and you'll be satisfied with your life. I guarantee that. Okay. So you can rate any movie. He's just like, that's the best commercial interruption I've ever had. So you have you have 0 to 5-star movies. Now you can rate movies that are really, really bad. You can rate movies that are really, really good. So for example, movies that would be considered really awful would be anything that would be Fantastic Four related, because Fantastic Four is a crap movie. All right, so you would probably rate that 0 stars, and you would feel like you wasted portions of your life, and feel sad that there's no money in your wallet because you've invested poorly in something such as that. I mean, just don't, folks. Just don't. There's the regrets that I'm sure for a lot of people, the regrets that you've had for movies that you've watched. I'm sure that there are. Time that was probably better spent on other things. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me? You guys tell me? Tell me in the chat here. What's the worst movie you ever saw? What's the worst movie you guys ever saw? You guys type it out in the chat. What's the worst movie you ever saw? Disaster Artist. Woof. Oof, I heard that was bad. I heard that was really bad. Alice, I've never seen it besides. But, Cats? Yeah, somebody in my last class said Cats. Yeah, I've heard Cats was really bad. Now, I saw Cats on stage. I can tell you, Cats on stage, like a Broadway show, Cats, is really, really good. Cats the movie. Eugene says, the one where Tom Hanks said the island with the ball, you mean Castaway? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. There's some people who really like that movie. The First Suicide Squad. Oh, boy. I did watch the first Suicide Squad. I thought it was just over budgeted. It was kind of like a very boring plot, to be honest. I kind of had a boring time with it. The Joker part was so unnecessary. So there you go. Midsommar? Really? I mean, it's supposed to be like super. It's supposed to be horror, right? Did it not scare you there, Mike? I mean, I don't know. The Last Airbender. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Not a fan. That's fair. That's fair. Look, hey, everybody's got a preference. I I, I saw a recap trailer of that. I like M. Night Shyamalan, but The Happening was horrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I saw Signs. I thought, yeah, I just hated the ending because the ending's just like, is a little cringeworthy. Ooh, wow. Did not like Wolf of Wall Street. Ooh, oof. Yeah, look, like I said, Ellis, everybody has an opinion about good and bad movies. I just want to hear everybody's kind of take on it because it's the taste. Some people just have certain tastes in movies. Like it's gonna run counter to other people. Don't mess with The Last Airbender. Oh man, look, one, one, one. Okay, look. I mean, let's be honest here with ourselves. The movie The Last Airbender. Okay, the movie The Last Airbender, the live action version. I didn't really think. I didn't really think. I thought that movie was bad. The show The Last Airbender. Okay, the actual show with the anime, the pseudo anime thing, with Aang. Yeah, that was a great movie. Great movie. Absolutely great. Batman vs Superman was trash. Okay, look, all you need to tell me, Fritz, is you just need to say Martha about 3 times in a Martha. You just gotta say that over and over again, and that's how you can pretty much sum up about 2.5 hours worth of your time. I ain't gonna lie. 16 Candles. Wow. Oh boy, that's a pretty classic movie there. 16 Candles. What was yours? Mine is Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, probably a terrible movie. I've seen some bad movies. Some movies I saw that are bad at a purpose. Fantastic Four was trying and just turned out to be terrible. Same with, let's see, Incredible Hulk movies. They just don't work. The Incredible Hulk, look, the Incredible Hulk is a great character, but if it's not Planet Hulk, it's not a good movie. Okay, Incredible Hulk is not a good standalone movie unless it's a Planet Hulk movie. Then it makes sense. So, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Woo! Woof! I forgot about that series. Wow, that's a long time ago. Percy Jackson, the Olympians? Wow, that's a long time ago. That is old school. Man. Man. Alright. Good stuff. So trash. Alright. Alright, I digress. Alright. I like you guys' opinions about movies. You guys have a lot of good... You guys are all over the place. Scary Movie 4, yeah. I think Scary Movie jumped the shark after like the third installment there. Child's Play. You don't like Chucky? I'm so sad. I'm so sad, Josie. Like Chucky's pretty classic, let me tell you. I don't know if anybody here has watched Gremlins before. I mean, Gremlins is a pretty classic 80s movie. Yeah, I loved Gremlins. I mean, it's kind of like in that same yeah, forget any of the new reboots, okay? Now, okay, let me throw you one take my way. Let me throw you one take, and you guys can vote. You guys can vote yay. You guys can type in yay or nay. The last 2 Star Wars movies, bad. I think they're awful. Like, I think they're just terrible. Like, if you agree with me, say yay. If you don't agree with me, say nay. Say yay, yay. I think the last 2 Star Wars movies are absolutely terrible. Luma's never watched Star Wars. Oh, yeah, you gotta watch some Star Wars. Ah, man, Star Wars is super classic. Super classic. Watch some Star Wars if you really like that. All right, Dylan, you have a good. I'm pretty sure you have a dad over there. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, the new ones aren't any good. I mean, I really thought that the not the original trilogy, but the other three, the Phantom Menace and all that, I thought they were bad, but no, the last two movies made those look really good in comparison. Like the last two are just like, why have you done this to why have you done this to a very good movie franchise? What have you done with people? Why is this happening to me? Why does my wallet feel like it's glittering away from my hand? All right. That's my hot take of the day. All right. Very good. Very good. Let's go to let's go to nation of origin. Nation of origin. Is that a nominal or ordinal variable? What do you think? Nominal or ordinal? I gotta keep moving forward. Is it a nominal or ordinal variable? All right, very good, very good. Everybody is correct. Nominal is absolutely spot on. Very good. Luma, I like your response there. Eugene, I also like your response. Says nom, 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 nom. Nominal is correct. All right, very nice. Now, there's only one exception I could probably say why it could be ordinal is if you're putting in an alphabetical order, if you feel that that's necessary for your database or whatever you're arranging it in, but most of the time it's really not. So it doesn't really ask for that kind of ordering. Eye color. What about eye color? Nominal or ordinal? Eye color. I agree with everybody here. Omnom. And nom 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 is correct. Okay, so nominal, 1000% correct. Very good, everybody. Nice job. So again, same thing as just like nation of origin. You could put it in alphabetical order, but in actuality, for most people, at least in a regular everyday conversation, most of the time we could even break that down into subsets of colors. For example, green could be light green or dark green or whatever. So, okay, next. All right, I got to finish some of these questions here. All right, so next, let's talk about interval and ratio variables. Now, there'll be certain questions here that I am going to skip. I had these on from before, but I've decided to skip it, so I just put the word skip here. Any questions that I do skip, I'm just gonna go ahead and in the future ordinal. That's true. Uh, any questions that I do skip here will not be covered on exams. It will not be covered on homework. It will not be covered for the final. Okay, so any questions I skip, it's intended to be skipped. It's not supposed to be talked about. Again, that's my promise to you. If you see any questions that have stuff that has, that has stuff to do with things that we did not talk about, please bring that to my attention, and I'll be sure to strike that from the record so it doesn't count against you. All right, so I've vetted most everything, but you never know. I could have missed something along the way. Okay. All right, next. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 is, what is a randomized experiment in an observational study? So let's take a look at the definitions for each, and then we'll look at some examples of each. So observational study. Study in which the researcher does not interfere with the participants. So there's going to be two sides here. They have it as answers, but they may not be the actual answers to the problem. It may just be multiple choice-ish. They may just be multiple choice options. I'll just point that out there. Unless that is the answer. Oh, then I do have to take that one away. I'll take that off. I don't got a problem with that. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind taking it out. You just let me know which one it was, and then I'll take it out. That's not a problem. I might have accidentally left one in there, so that's on me. I got no problem with that. I take responsibility for my mistakes. If you say, hey, that's going to be question number 7 on section 1.1, then I'll just remove it, and then just leave the other questions in there. If that's fine with you, Jake, I'll be happy to do that. All right, you got it. Nah, you tell me which way you want to go. I'll be willing to take it out, just like I promised. Because that was that's my promise to the class. So, like I said, like I'll say, that's accountability. Accountability starts with me. So, if I accidentally leave a question in there, and it could be used against you in terms of points, well, I'm not about to do that to you. I told you that before. I don't mind just removing. I mean, if it means just removing a question, it's no big deal to me. It's just a question, so I'm only human, folks. All right, anytime now. Go here. All right, there you go. I'll do it in real time. If it's ordinal, then it counts because ordinal is still a thing. Can't get rid of number 11. Ordinal's a valid response, my friend. We just went over that. So I did take off question 10. Question 10 is gone. There you go. Ask and ye shall receive if there is validity. All right. I just did it. All right, Ellis, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night, okay? Have a great night. Say hi to your dad for me, all right? All right, so let's take a look at here. What's an observational study? Again, you're going to have two sides here. Number one, the first side that you're going to have here is you're going to have the researcher and you're going to have the participant. Now, how does it work for an observational study? Let's say, for example, here that we're trying to test to see if there's a link between drinking coffee, and heart disease. And we want to say, well, depending on how much coffee you drink every day, do you have a higher risk of heart disease? So, I could ask you to be a participant in my program. I go through a series of questions. I could say, oh, do you, how much coffee do you drink every day? Tell me your diet and exercise. Tell me your weight, height, and all that stuff. But after the end of the questionnaire and after asking you all these sets of questions, I don't do anything. I sit back with my results in my hand and I just kind of don't do anything after talking about your health history and whatnot, and I just let it go. Maybe after some time, maybe after 6 months, a year, I may follow up with you and then ask you, well, how's your health now? Tell me what your weight is, your height, and all that jazz. And I may want to compare and contrast to see if there indeed is a link. How do you feel after drinking more coffee? As you get older, whatever the case may be, and then I can make a conclusion. Based on that. If there's a link between coffee drinking and heart disease. Now, I'm not saying there is or isn't, okay? That's just a hypothetical example. But the point being is that I'm not interfering in the process of that particular study. I'm just letting things play out, and then people report back to me, and then that's it. There's not much else that goes on behind that. The other type of thing that we'll talk about here are randomized experiments. It's where the researcher directly interferes with the participants. So when you design an experiment, you are directly interfering with the types, the things that you're doing here with with the participants. So again, the best example here is the most relevant example probably in our current time, especially with COVID, and that are clinical trials. So for example here, when they're testing out vaccines, you need to have people, of course, to test as a control group, people who don't get the vaccine, and then people who do get the vaccine. You're going to basically interfere in part of the process. You're not, and then you're going to sit back and observe to see, hey, what are the effects of the vaccine? How effective is it into stopping the virus, or preventing the virus from taking hold in a person, whatever. Okay, so how effective is this vaccine? You got to have clinical trials. You got to do a lot of these sorts of testing in order to determine whether it's effective or not. So clinical trials is probably a good type of randomized experiment that's pretty relevant for what's going on today. And after some time, you figure it out, and get it approved by the FDA, that whole 9 yards. All right. Now, to go along with clinical trials, to kind of expand upon that, there are types of studies that kind of go along with clinical trials or randomized experiments. Studies that I'm not going to talk about this in super detail here. I'm just going to go ahead and state them, and then we're going to go ahead and kind of move forward. So, for example, types of studies that are common are confounding studies, retrospective studies. That should sound familiar. Again, just kind of looking back to the past and comparing, contrasting from, say, 25 years ago to today. A single blind study. What's a single blind study? Basically, it's to say, like, if you're doing a clinical trial, is probably the easiest way. Clinical trials, like, say the researchers know who got the drug and who didn't get the drug. If you're trying to test a particular drug, or again, a double-blind study means neither the researchers nor the patients know exactly who got the drug and who did not get the drug. Now you're probably saying, well, why would you do something like that? Why would you have a double-blind study? What's the purpose of that? The reason you would actually want to do a double-blind study is because it reduces the amount of bias in the conclusions that you can make based on what you observe in the while testing out the drug. See, if you know who got what, then you may have some bias here because you're like, okay, you carefully may observe one patient, but maybe not the other. In a double-blind study, then you have to scrutinize each person carefully, and then basically you'll get more unbiased results because of the fact that you're being more scrutinous for everyone and seeing who got the drug and who didn't, and what the effects are for each individual person. So it's a little bit more comprehensive in a double-blind study than it is for a single-blind study. All right. Let's go to the next question here. I'm going to get these last two knocked out here. So, number 11, what is a census? Now, a census is something that you probably did last year. You probably had somebody come up to your door, or one of your family members come up and say, hey, here's the census, or they maybe put it in the mail. It says, hey, here's the census. Let me ask you how many people are in the house, what's the ethnic makeup, how much money do you make, what district are you in? Lots of different types of questions that will, that helps determine several things for the government to do, such as the number of representatives, politically wise, or again, looking at the general state of the economy, population. There's a lot of different things that a census certainly does. But at least in terms of the formal definition of a census, the census here is a list of all individuals in the population with certain characteristics of each individual. So as I said here, ethnicity would be one. How many, ethnicity would be one. How many people are, how many people are Pakistani, how many people are Indian, how many people are Korean, how many people are Irish. You could break it down into ancestry, and you could break it down into skin color, you could break it down into age groups, you could break it down into a lot of different things, I'm sure, using the census data. It gives you a general ballpark estimate of the entire population. Okay. All right. Are there any questions about that? Any questions about that up till this point? I'll go ahead and move forward then. All right. So I want to look at one last question here, and we'll come back and answer this question probably one more time, because this last question here, number 12, for whatever reason. Confounding is a type of study. I'm not going to really talk about it too much. If you want to look it up, you can look it up. There's the definition in the textbook. I'm not going to really focus on that at all. That's not really important for what we want to be doing here. I don't think I even put a question on the homework when it comes to like types of stuff, barely types of studies. So maybe I put one. All right. Let's take a look here at number 12. Number 12 is the last question I want to talk about here. Now, number 12 here is probably the question that's going to lead us into the next 3 sections. So we'll talk about it here today. We'll also talk about it here next week. But it talks about sampling. That's what we started off with. That's what we'll end off here with. It says, what is a simple random sample? Now, if we're doing a statistical study, we want to pick as close to what we call a simple random sample as much as possible. So let's talk about the basic definition here. A simple random sample is a sample in which every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. All right. So meaning to say, if I was on campus and I said, you know what, I want to poll 100 people for my survey. I'm a person who's sitting clear across campus and a person who's sitting right in front of me. Both of those people have an equal chance of being selected as being part of my survey. And I would pick the 100 people here based on pure randomness. I don't have any rhyme. I don't have any reason to actually pick them to be part of my survey. They're just there, and you know what? I want them to be part of my survey. So I may go rolling around campus all over the place trying to find 100 people. But again, everyone has an equal likely chance of being selected for my survey to to see what the results are. Like maybe again, I'll ask if you like brand A or brand B, whatever. Okay. So we're going to be talking about here. So let me go ahead and set this up here. What we're going to be talking about is types of sampling here. Types of sampling here that kind of reflect this simple random sample. The most ideal type of sampling is a simple random sample because it is truly random in nature. But sometimes, as you can probably guess, that's not always possible to get a simple random sample, or may not be as convenient as well. So that is what we have there for number 12. All right. Are there any questions? Any questions about these first 3 sections here? So just for you, Jaylena, I know you did ask about confounding here. Again, I'm not going to really talk about it too much, but I could just write down the formal definition. This basically occurs when the effects of 2 or more explanatory variables, this is the formal definition, are not separated. So okay, so again, there could be a third variable that could link 2 other variables together. That would be a confounding variable. Like maybe there's a link between, again, coffee drinking and heart disease, but maybe there's a third variable that kind of gums up the works and actually is the actual logical explanation why there's an actual link. Or maybe it's the caffeine instead of coffee. Maybe coffee is just a thing, but maybe it's the reality. It's like the amount of caffeine as opposed to the actual drink coffee. So You want like a base as a formal definition. That's basically how it would work essentially. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm not going to really talk about that too much because what we're be looking at here is we're going to try and establish a pattern here about confounding variables. 2, 3, and 4, yeah. Sure. There you go. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions anybody else has before we end off here for today? So Stash, I'm going to be doing 141516 on Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday I'll be doing 141516. Just do the first 3 sections for now, and then the next 3 sections, or if you want to work ahead, it's totally up to you. I don't mind. But I'll be doing 141516 on Tuesday, and we'll be working our way forward and get done with Chapter 1. Then we'll get starting on next Thursday. We'll probably start Chapter 2, or maybe we'll start Chapter 2 on Tuesday, depending on how fast we go over that stuff. And yeah, we'll actually get to the numbers stuff. I guess is the best way to put it. So. All right. All right. If there are no more questions here, go ahead and to the big screen here. All right. If there are no more questions, I want to thank everybody here for coming on out to the stream today. Thank you so very much, everybody. You all are absolutely fantastic and are legends in your own right. You guys are outrageously outstanding. Thank you guys. I love all you guys. All you guys are so amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I want to wish everybody an absolutely fantastic weekend. All right. Hopefully you get a chance to rest and relax. The homework here shouldn't take you too long. It's only 3 sections. 1-1 to 1-3 if you're keeping pace with the course here is probably what you should be doing. All right. In the meantime, outside of that, please enjoy your weekend. Rest, relax, and we're going to be coming back here on Tuesday. All right. And as always, everybody, as always, thumbs up indeed, Mike. You got that right. There you go, my friend. You get the thumbs up from me. And as always, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, but most importantly, everybody, stay sane. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you all later. Again, if you need to contact me over the weekend, please feel free to email me, or I may be on Discord if you need to talk. All right? Have a great one, everybody. Don't forget to hashtag it, and take care of yourselves, everyone. See you later. All right, have a great one. All right, everybody. Bye! Bye, everybody.